Hey, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and I'm doing a little bit of a sound check today. And I thought while I'm doing the sound check, why not do something useful as well? So I've just had a dance break to check out what background noise sounds like. And I'm trying out I've had a Rode mic for years, but I don't use it because it's super sensitive. And when you sort of make little noises, like if I put the tap things on the deck, it just sounds like a hurricane. So I just want to check what it sounds like, and also want to test not having it in front of me, but having it slightly out of shot and making sure it's still good enough to pick up my voice so that I can make a decision about if I want to start using this for my webinars. Oops, let me turn that down because that's pretty loud as well. If I want to use it for my webinars. But I thought while we are here and while I'm in test mode, what I might do is pull a card for the month ahead from my new coaching cards deck. So thought we might have a play with that. So I will do the way I normally do them for Tarot Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday of the month in my membership group. Nearly this today. I was this week I was like, oh my god, Tarot Tuesday, and I was like, chill, it's actually the 30th of April, so it's next week. The thread is up for you guys who would like an individual reading. The thread is now up in the membership group, so just put your name in, put if you've got a particular issue you want me to focus on, and also if you have a preference in terms of deck. I know a couple of people have already said what deck they want to use, which is very cool. So the way I do it for Tarot Tuesday, or when I'm reading tarot for clients, is give the cards a good shuffle. Then because they all look the same on the back. So this is my deck, so it's kind of got my logo on the back. So they all look exactly the same. So I choose the cards with them facing away from me, so I don't see what's kind of being chosen. So I'm going to pick one for this month. I'm going to go for that one. Just a bit of the energy and the vibe. Let's see what we've got. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, that's crazy. Look, 2 seconds ago, if you go to my page, if you're watching this in real time, go to my page directly under this video. Let me just tell you if there's any juice left in my poor iPad. It's been had a hard day today because we haven't had broadband. Pretty much a few minutes ago, I just published a dance break and I had a conversation with Dion on my page. Let me tell you what it says in terms of, that's just, I mean, I know about synchronicity and it still makes me go, are you kidding me? Because suddenly I was like, you know what, Marilyn, we need a dance break and we need it now. And I don't think I'm the only one who could benefit from a dance break. So that's a conversation I just had with myself. So this video, let me just show you on my, you probably can't see it on my screen, but there it is. That's the dance break video. It was posted 2 minutes ago. So hang on, that's the one, sorry, underneath it. So that's the one I'm on, and this is the dance break one that's underneath it. That's just crazy. Let me tell you what Dion said about the dance break. So Dion Johnson says, I've been really thinking about doing this dance break in my community. Thanks for the inspiration, beautiful woman of influence. So that is crazy, but let me tell you what it says on this card. So let me show it to you first of all. So that's the card, just so you can have a look-see. And what it says on the card, it says, I came up with the idea and concept of the dance break in 1975 when I was 7 years old. It was a means of physical and mental escape from an abusive childhood. I have been prescribing them to my coaching clients since October 2000 because they activate the brain, stimulate creativity, move oxygen around the body, and provide a burst of feel-good endorphins. So the words that came out of my mouth about 5-10 minutes ago with Dion Johnson, when I read her comment on the dance break that I posted just before this, I said I've been prescribing dance breaks to my clients for the past 18 years. And I shared the story of when I first prescribed one, a city woman, what I call suited and booted, prescribed the dance break. She looked at me and I could tell on her face, she's like, have I just paid you for this? This is what you're telling me to do when I get home? And I says, look, do it for 7 days, come back and complain at the end of the 7 days after you followed my instructions to the letter. So to her credit, she followed my instructions to the letter. She came back a completely different woman. And it was just incredible. And I already knew from using this from childhood that it had power. And the very first kind of couple of times I used it with clients, I'm like, oh man, that is just crazy. And so what I would say is the vibe. So the dance break we did a few minutes ago via Facebook Live, what I'll do when I finish this video, I'll copy the link, I'll put it into the comments so you can watch it for yourself. We did Frankie Beverly and Maze, Before I Let Go. Such a class tune, but anything by Frankie Beverly and Maze is good stuff. So we did a dance break to Before I Let Go. So I'll post that. But that is just the craziest thing, because while I was talking to you guys, I was shuffling those cards, and they're not numbered. They all look exactly the same on the back. Let me just show you, because I know some people are a little bit skeptical. So that's what they look like on the back. They are all exactly the same. But yeah, so the vibe, and what I would say over and above and beyond the dance break as words, what I would say with regards to this, because the bit that kind of I'm talking about, and weirdly, I've just finished, so crazy, I've just finished a Skype coaching session with someone out in New Mexico. Well, actually, Skype wasn't working. We used my online meeting room. But we were talking about Huna, Huna. But what I said to her is, I gave her some home plate, and I said, what this will do, it will activate your neurology, it will activate your brain, it will send oxygen around the body. And if you're not used to doing this process, do it sitting down first. Well, it wasn't a dance break, it was a Huna process that I'd prescribed for her for a bit of a dance break. But pretty much those words came out of my mouth. We finished the session at 10 o'clock. It's now coming up to 11 p.m. So that's really, really crazy. So one of the things I would say, whatever your practice of choice is, in terms of the way you energize the body, in terms of the way you activate the brain, in terms of the way you shake off the cobwebs, whatever that thing is, this month will be a good time to instigate it. Weirdly, the conversation I've had with several people this week as well, and actually even in April, was that people were feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and therefore their self-care routines had fallen by the wayside. And so if that's you, the dance break, as simple as it sounds, can be a way to get yourself back into connection with your physical body. And also when you find a piece of, so Frankie Beverly and Maze, Before I Let Go, seriously, that tune, as soon as the beat drops, I'm just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, and so even without the dancing, the endorphins are already fired off. So find something that has a similar effect for you. And I'm going to say that I really would like it to involve moving the body. And I've said this before when I've done Facebook Lives about a dance break. You can do side to side chair dancing. You don't have to do what I just did and rolling the chair back and standing up. This is plenty good enough, because my photo readers out there will know that it's a lot of it, particularly if you can involve the hands as well, it will cross the midline and take you into the realm of educational kinesiology. So there's a lot of other stuff that sits underneath it as well, over and above moving and music. But music and movement in itself is really powerful. And it's like the world is catching up, because every 5 minutes there's some new story or new study or new piece of research about the power of dance and the power of music. I'm like, just give me the research money, I can tell you anything you want to know, because it's been a long time now. So I would say that, this one for this month is about moving the body, is about kind of nurturing the body, is about energizing the body, is about shifting stagnated energy. I would say that will probably be a really, really good way to go. So if the dance break resonates with you, do that. And actually, my brain's like, never mind if it resonates, even if it doesn't resonate, even if you've never done it before, if you've never had a dance break, go to YouTube, or if you're, old school, you might still have some sort of device. God, I wonder where my iPod is. Oh, I know where it is. I think, actually, let me just have a quick look. Give me 1 second. I'm curious now. Oh my God. This is crazy. It's like the 3 ages of Marilyn in terms of the devices that have graced my presence. So we've got this first one here. I keep it for nostalgia reasons, because I sometimes use it on courses. So this is the Philips device, generally used when you're doing audio typing, but sometimes I used to put a bit of music on there as well as a bit of an interlude. So that's going old school, because that's those tiny little cassette tapes. We then had, when I first got into, recording talks and stuff, I'm pretty sure this one still works, the Olympus recorder. But this is what I was thinking about in terms of, have I still got it? Haven't used it for years. Oh my God. How many of you remember that as your device? That's just crazy. I'm guessing the plug will be, I might actually try it out because I've no idea what's on there, but I'd be interested to know. So yeah, if you're old school and you've got a device, then God, Apple was sleek from way back when, weren't they? After they got over the Macintosh. Isn't that a nice bit of kit considering how old it is? That looks really fantastic, actually. Anyway, so yeah, whether you're a devices person or whether you just go to YouTube, my recommendation would be doing that. Actually, I'm interested to know, because you see a lot of stuff about retrograde, etc., etc. So there's a lovely deck of cards from Kate Thomas, and they're the Banksy. So Banksy the artist. Hi Iga, yes, I'm from the United Kingdom. South London is where I was born. So yeah, I am out here in the United Kingdom, and so it is a British accent. Right, let's just see a little bit about what, because these cards are just, they're like signed as well. So limited edition, this is number 28 of 100, which is fabulous. And so the Banksy cards are quite maverick. This is what they look like on the back. So they all look, again, they're exactly the same on the back. And then it's, well, I know a lot of Banksy's iconic images. There are images in here I'd never ever seen before. So let's just see, actually. So we've got the dance break in terms of the coaching cards, in terms of some practical stuff that you can do for the month ahead. And I don't normally listen back to my playbacks, but I want to hear, in terms of this microphone, how does it sound when you do that on the desk? How does it sound when you shuffle the cards? Because I love the mic and it's very, very sensitive. So let's see. So we're going to have May. Actually, that's the one that stands out to me first. I'm going to have that one, whatever that is. I'll have a look in a second. Da, 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 da. And these ones are so totally open to interpretation. Let me just show you what it says, first of all. They're crazy, they really are. Queen, flowers, and you looked better on MySpace. Actually, that's not as crazy as it sounds. Now, for those of you who are here from the beginning, I was saying, if you have been neglecting your physical well-being, some people have said they felt overwhelmed, so they've neglected their physical well-being, they haven't been nurturing, they haven't been moving the body. I would say this is the quintessential little bit of neglect, because you know, where the joke of this one is you looked better on MySpace, and oftentimes we also know the joke is that somebody's profile picture is like some sort of professional airbrush thing, and then you see them in person, you don't actually recognize them. But this one, aside from the kind of just social media blatant interpretation of that, I will definitely kind of go back to the whole thing that I was saying with the first card. If you have not been looking after yourself physically, if you've been neglecting your physical body, if you have not been nurturing yourself in whatever that means to you, this month, the month of May, would be a very good time to get back on track with that. And not just for the vanity reasons that summer is coming, this kind of bikini body time. That's a whole other different kind of conversation. This is about your sense of self. This is about your internal well-being. And I would go as far as saying, you know, the nurturing of your soul, if you want to put it that way. So in terms of what are you doing, and if I bring it back to, you know, one of the favorite things that I talk about in terms of the annual workshop I run in December, the Mind, Body, Spirit and Soul Energy Fest, my question for this one would be, what are you doing, or what is your way of nurturing your mind, your body, your spirit and your soul? So that will be, what are you doing with regards to the old emotional baggage? What are you doing with regards to nutritionally, what you put into your body? What are you doing with regards to your level of exercise, or at least, as we're talking about in the first card, getting the oxygen moving around the body, stimulating the neurology, getting the brain sort of working? What are you doing in terms of, you know, nurturing the spirit and the soul? Do you have a particular spiritual practice, for example, that you could be instigating? And I would say these are kind of questions, if they resonate, to be asking yourself as we move into the month of May, because it feels as though the way it comes into my head, it feels as though your physical fortitude, that's definitely right, because I've got goosebumps now. So it feels like your physical fortitude is going to be needed as we go into June and July for whatever it is that's coming. So it may be that there's something, because oftentimes that sounds a bit weird. I'm saying, like, does that really make sense? Because June and July is often holiday time. Actually, no, it does make sense. So my brain has just gone, that's one of the reasons why. So there's kind of a couple of things here to be wary of. Some of you might recognize the scenario where if you haven't been looking after yourself and you've just been just holding it together, burning a candle at both ends, neglecting what it would be good to do for your body, because there's no should. You can make your own decisions. But many people will have the experience that as soon as you then stop to go on holiday, you're sick for either the whole of the holiday or the majority of the holiday. So you might finish work on the Friday, you fly out on the Saturday, you arrive, woo, then Saturday afternoon through to 4 or 5 days you're basically unwell, and then you spend the tail end of the holiday having to get yourself better, such that by the time you get back to work it's almost like, well, that was a bust. So there's that. And that used to happen to me when I was in a regular job. Pretty much every single Christmas I'd come down with a cold, I'd come down with the flu, and spend most of it kind of laid out on my back. And then the final few days before we hit into New Year's was like just starting to recuperate. And then just as I start to feel better, I've got to go back to work. And now, so you haven't had a proper rest. And so one of the things I think that the message for this is, use this time such that you don't have the crash and burn effect. So that would be one aspect of it. The other aspect of it, there may be some of you that find that it gets busier, unexpected project, and it might be a passion project, or it might be something that comes up unexpectedly at work. And so you're going to need your physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional fortitude to get you through that time. Whereas if you have kind of maybe potentially neglected things, and now you're being called upon, you need that stamina, you need that strength, be that physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional. If you haven't kind of filled up the tank, then now you're going to be really running on empty. And then you could find that, August, September time, you're now going to need a lot of time to try and get yourself back to center. So it's like, if you're feeling good, that's great. Continue to do what you're doing, because that will serve you well. And if you know that there's been a little bit of physical neglect and also mental and spiritual and emotional neglect, I think May would be a really, really good time to work on that. And I often say to my breakthrough coaching clients, work on it while it doesn't matter. The time to start getting yourself well and thinking about your health and well-being is not when you're darn well sick, because you haven't got the energy to do it. It's while you're feeling well, doing the things to maintain yourself. And I was having a laugh today at ballet. I walked into the room, I said, Faye, you better be nice to me. Faye is the ballet teacher. I was like, you better be nice to me, because I didn't want to be here today. I've been doing ballet for 3 years. I'm at my desk today. I'm here all day. I'm all nice. Well, I know why it is. I'm all nice and cozy. So I'm in my little booty slippers. I've got my dressing gown on over my clothes. It's a little bit chilly, and my brain was like, oh, it's ballet tonight. Oh, I don't want to go. I'm not in the mood. And my brain was like, are you super busy? I'm like, could be. And it's like, that's not why I asked you. Are you super busy? I'm like, oh, no. It's like, well, what's the question then? Get your ass upstairs, get into your gear, and get out the door. And so I almost kind of walked to ballet in a little bit of a semi-sulk, like, oh, I'm not in the mood for this, and I want to stay at home. And so I get to ballet. I said, Faye, you better be nice to me, because I don't want to be here today. And great class, really enjoyed it. And what was really weird, actually, it was one of those turning point moments where, we're on the bar, and there's a particular adage routine that we've been learning. I think this is probably our 3rd week now, but it's just freaking crazy to do. Even doing the mark through just fries your brain. And then when the music comes on, it's even faster. And there are a couple of people watching me to see how to do it and copying me. And I'm like, result, I've arrived. So my thing to myself was like, you're making me walk all this way because it's a half an hour walk to ballet. It better be worth it. That was what I said to myself. And within, so it takes me about, let's just say within 7 minutes, because I had a couple of things to pick up in town. So I leave the Into Watford Centre. Wow, that's the first time I've said Into Watford Centre without saying the Harlequin first. So I leave the Into Watford Centre. About 7 minutes into my walk, I'm approached by 2 black guys who want to sell me lemonade. So I say, look, I don't drink lemonade, not trying to be funny, I just drink water. And but I give them some money anyway, and we have this conversation. They say, oh, we're, you know, apprentices and we're practicing ourselves, blah blah blah. As I'm walking away from that on my way to ballet, 'cause I've still got 25 minutes to go, and I laughed to myself and went, well, that was totally worth it, because they were just, I did somebody else was filming it. If I can find them on YouTube, they might put it on YouTube, but they literally leapt in the air with joy when I gave them £4. They were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so that, for me, I walk away smiling, they're smiling, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much, thank you so much. I'm like, okay, that was totally worth it. And I haven't even got to ballet class yet. So if you know that you're full of excuses about why you can't do something, even for a couple of minutes, I would say, if you were my client, and you don't have to listen to me because you're not my client, but what I'd be saying to my clients, and they know this to be true, is suck it up, cupcake, and get over yourself and get on with it. Just get started, just do it. And so my thing today, when I because somebody else at ballet, I sat next to her, I went, hi, she went, hi, and I went, you all right? She went, oh, I'm so tired, but I'm hoping this will wake me up. And so now we're both laughing, and I'm saying, oh my God, I had to talk myself out of the house today. And then we both had a brilliant class. And part of it, I said to her, my strategy is I'm not thinking, because if I allowed myself to sit and think about the scenario, I'm at home, I actually have got a few things to do, I'm all warm, I'm all cozy, I'm not in the mood, so maybe I could, seriously, it could go on, it would just be really boring. And so I could go into all of that, but I said to her, my strategy is, as soon as I feel that kicking into my brain, I'm just like, all stop, don't think, get dressed, pick up your ballet bag, which is always packed. I've always got the bag packed, because that one, it used to be one of the excuses. Oh, I've got to leave in 5 minutes and I haven't got my stuff together and there's not enough time. And I nearly fell for that as well. So I'm like, okay, we're going to pack the bag now. And it's a bit like the thing, people leave their gym bag in the car, that sort of scenario. But my suggestion would be, just don't think about it. Think about your end result, do the thing, go to YouTube, put on the dance break. That sounds a bit strong and a bit preachy. I was going to say, honor your body. That's the words that came into my head. And I think that will put you in good stead for what comes in the second quarter and the third quarter of 2019. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that the sound was okay, but I'll find out in a few minutes once the video has rendered. I'll go back and have a listen and just see what my microphone makes of background noise. And wishing you all a magnificent and magical and wish-fulfilled, money-filled, you know, wildest dreams and wishes month of May. It's my birthday month, so I'm a big fan of May as well. Cannot believe I'll be 51. I mean, like, where does the time go? I can't even tell you. So yeah, wishing you all a fabulous, magical month of May, and catch you all later. Bye bye.